Ladies and gentlemen, today we talk about the great one, the final boss, The Rock. Of course, before he was The Rock, he was Flex Cavana in the old Memphis territory that used to be a feeder system for WWE in the early 90s. And before that, he played for the University of Miami. Didn't get a lot of playing time, but he did win a national championship. This guy named Warren Sapp may have beat him out for his position. I mean, Warren Sapp, Dwayne Johnson. Is there really any comparison there? But you knew WWE had big things in store for The Rock because he debuted on one of the big four pay-per-views. And if you don't know what the big four were, they were the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. And he debuted in the 96 Survivor Series as Rocky Maivia, paying homage to not only his dad, but his grandfather. That gimmick didn't go well. They pushed him to the moon. He had skill, but it was a generic it was too generic, and the times were changing. The fans were changing. And at that point, WWE hadn't caught up to the change. They pushed Rocky to the moon, gave him the Intercontinental Championship, and then the best thing that happened to The Rock was he got hurt. And then the landscape slowly started to change. And when he finally came back, they put him in the Nation of Domination and turned him heel. And one of the things they let him do was talk in the third person. And they actually got that idea from Deion Sanders. So that's why The Rock would always talk in third person. But it was important to him when he came back and turned his back to explain why. Because if you don't explain why you did what you did, there's no reason to do it. And without an explanation, there would have been no reason for him to be in the Nation of Domination. Aside from just putting him in the Nation of Domination. And then over the next, this is 1997, so over the next 6 months to a year, he really grows into himself. Becomes the Intercontinental Champion again. Has feuds with Ken Shamrock throughout the end of 97 into 98. They have a great WrestleMania 14 match where Ken Shamrock actually wins the Intercontinental Championship, but then he snaps, and that was his whole gimmick, his whole aura. He would lose control and snap, which really worked for him, and the feud was great. And then everything changed the night after WrestleMania when The Rock became the leader kicked Farouk out, and they would go on to feud with DX. And that entire feud with him and Triple H and SummerSlam, the ladder match, it really really showed the company that The Rock was ready. And by Survivor Series, he had become a babyface because he was so entertaining and his catchphrases were just on point, and he was getting over, and he naturally turned to a babyface. Well, here comes Survivor Series. McMahon has been messing with The Rock this whole time. At least that's what we think. And of course, The Rock would become the World Wrestling Federation champion at the 98 Survivor Series in the Deadly Games, beating Mankind in the finals. And Mankind would really be his first test, his first true opponent. And Mankind, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love, whatever you want to call him, he was the guy that could get you ready for the next step, the next evolution in your career. He was a great first contender to the championship. And their rivalry was brutal. I mean, the Royal Rumble in 1999, if you have a weak stomach, do not watch that match because it is absolutely brutal. I mean, that really showed the world how tough two men are. And then, of course, Mick Foley would win the title on an episode of Raw in 1999 against The Rock. They probably had like 3 or 4 matches between Survivor Series and WrestleMania. And it was a great feud for The Rock. Of course, leading into WrestleMania 15, it was The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The two top guys in the company going one on one for the first time, and would go one on one on 3 separate occasions at WrestleMania. And it was everything you wanted it to be. It was Rock Austin. And the one thing I will always give The Rock throughout his run is he was willing to eat a pin. He got pinned so many times and accumulated so many losses that he didn't need to do, but he did. I mean, he put Mick Foley over. He put Brock Lesnar over. I mean, he had feuds with everybody. The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Triple H, Mankind, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Hulk Hogan. I mean, we all remember the classic from WrestleMania 18, Hogan, Rock. I mean, who can ever forget that? And then WrestleMania 19, Austin Rock for the final time. And The Rock was actually one of the only people that knew that that was Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match. And the fact that he wanted to have that match with The Rock said something. And of course, we can't forget about The Rock and Sock connection. Another example of great rivalry, better friends. I mean, This Is Your Life segment with The Rock and Mankind. Mind blowing. Then, of course, putting Brock Lesnar over at SummerSlam '02 and knowing when to become a heel, knowing when to be a babyface and still be at the apex of his career. And then, of course, you know, essentially just walking away for a while, going to Hollywood, doing his thing, didn't really get his first. I mean, he was in movies, but they weren't like A-list movies. He wasn't to that platform yet, and he really feel like he really found that platform with the Fast and Furious franchise. I mean, he may have done a couple before that, but really the Fast and the Furious franchise took his career to another level. And of course, he would come back to WWE, face John Cena twice. First, was supposed to be once in a lifetime. Of course, WWE lied to us. When haven't they lied to us? But he would team with Cena at a Survivor Series with The Miz and R-Truth on the other side. Of course, they would go at it at 2 consecutive WrestleManias. He would hold the WWE title once again, defeating CM Punk. And then he would just kind of fade away again. And then now he's the final boss. So just bring it.